Welcome back to Amy Lynn Creative. In today's video, we are talking about why I switched from DSLR to mirrorless. First disclaimer, I still own a DSLR. It's my Canon 5D Mark III. It is one whale of a camera. It is now my backup camera, but I would shoot a wedding with it tomorrow. It's still a great camera. But here's why I switched to mirrorless cameras. If you were looking for a super techy video, this is not the video for you. There's lots of videos about going into the electronics and all the fancy stuff inside. I'm not here to talk about that. I am just quick letting you know why I personally switched to mirrorless. And the biggest reason was video. So I am a brand photographer, but I also do brand video. And I was using a Sony A7R2. I don't know why I can never say that right. I know all my Canon models, just not Sony. Anyway, I actually already owned a Sony mirrorless camera and I had purchased it specifically for video and I liked it. It was great. I have a whole video about why I switched back to Canon. Not the point of this video. Anyway, I was looking to replace it with another Canon mirrorless. Now here's why I didn't purchase another DSLR, because the Canon 5D Mark IV also does video. First of all, I'd heard a lot of people weren't impressed with the Mark IV overall as a camera, and it didn't seem like enough of an upgrade from the Mark III. So the Mark IV was not a great DSLR upgrade option. Another big reason is that because I do video and because I use a gimbal pretty regularly, photographers, you can tune out for this part, but a gimbal is a electronic stabilizing system for a camera so you can walk in a video or move or make movements and it's nice and smooth. Because my hands are not smooth. I do not shoot handheld and the world should be thankful. Anyway, my gimbal has to be held out in front of you, and because I am a small person, putting a DSLR on my gimbal, while it is capable of holding a DSLR, it is very heavy. As it is, a mirrorless camera with like a 24-70 lens is still really heavy for me personally. And so I wanted a mirrorless camera because it's a little bit smaller, easier to put on a gimbal. Another reason is because mirrorless is really the way the technology is going. And so I wanted to go ahead and switch because I knew I knew Canon and other manufacturers were putting a lot of money into R&D. It was going to be a really dramatic upgrade. One of the big reasons I switched to mirrorless is that with my DSLR, I had like 60 something, I think, I will correct that on the screen if I'm wrong, focus points. My new Canon EOS R, which is actually a model that's a few years old, is in the thousands of focus points. And so that was a drastic difference for me, was the focusing capabilities, the focusing technology of a mirrorless camera. One question that I've been asked is, are mirrorless cameras full frame? It depends on the camera. Different models can be either full frame or crop sensor. They make crop sensor mirrorless cameras. Again, it just depends on the camera model. The Canon EOS R that I purchased is a full frame camera, although it does shoot cropped 4K video. One of the reasons I had been hesitant to switch to Canon mirrorless was that it required an adapter for the lenses I currently owned. That was a big thing for me. I wasn't sure, like with an adapter, you always worry about loss of quality, of image quality, because there's something in between the camera and the lens. But I'd read the Canon EOS R, the camera I ended up purchasing, had been out for a few years already when I purchased it. And so there was a lot of good feedback, people saying, you know what, the Canon adapter, like the name brand adapter, is awesome. You don't need to worry about it. Image quality is fantastic. And that was kind of the go ahead that I needed to hear. So I'd waited, I'd heard feedback from other people, and that made me a lot more likely to switch. Those are the reasons I personally switched to mirrorless. If you are still using a DSLR and your DSLR is working great for you, there's no need to switch. If it's not in your budget, don't switch. If you're getting ready to upgrade your gear, I would definitely say take a look at mirrorless. Hold one in your hand, see if you like it. It's a little bit smaller, so I feel like it's a little front heavy sometimes with my regular lenses. That is why I like Canon mirrorless, because the grip is a little bigger, a little more substantial, and it feels more like a DSLR to me. And because that's what I'm used to, it's great. And then be ready for some change. It can be hard getting used to a new camera. I am still fumbling around a lot with buttons. I've only had it a few weeks, and so it's just kind of a process. But it's totally worth it, and I'm super excited to be moving forward with the EOS R, but then also keeping my Mark III as a backup, because it is still a fantastic camera, and there's nothing particularly wrong with it. I like having a better ISO capability, etc. So there's some stuff, but it's still a great camera that I could go shoot a wedding with tomorrow. I hope this video was helpful for you. Again, the purpose of this video was not to be a techie video, but really to be more of a why I switched to mirrorless as a business owner, then let's sit down and dig into the tech specs of how this camera is made. There you have it. If you want to know more about mirrorless and how it's different from DSLR, then just go ahead and search for that on YouTube, because there are amazing videos by people who understand these things way better than I do from a technical standpoint versus a practical standpoint, and they can help you figure that out.